Hello, everybody. My name's Howard, and I'm trying to run a video for my GoFundMe page and my Fun Daddy. It's another place that's like GoFundMe that started up in December. I'm in a situation that I never saw happening when I was still working. It's like basically a snowball turning into an avalanche going downhill. What's been happening is on in December of 2023, I had to go into Sunrise Hospital because my fourth toe on my left foot was infected, and I went in there and they said I had gangrene and something was smelling wrong. And I went in there. They admitted me. I was in the hallway for 48 hours, and they gave me oxycodone, which I have a reaction to, where I hallucinate. And they put finally, I don't even know when, they took me up to the fifth floor, gave me a single room because I was infectious with sepsis, and I ended up wandering out of the room down the hallway, getting all kinds of weird looks from people. And I'm like, it's okay, I work here. I thought it was juvenile hall. So I wandered down the hallway to the stairwell, wandered down the stairwell to the first floor, and went out into the street. And it had to be about 10 or 11 o'clock at night, maybe later. And I started looking for my car because I didn't know Julie, my mother of my children, had taken me here. And I couldn't find my car, and I got desperate. I started lifting door handles, just try to get the hell out of there. And finally, I got frustrated. I went up to some security guards that were outside, and I said, "Can you take me back to my room?" I said, "Sure." And I went with them, and they brought me back up. The next day, I think they did MRIs on me, and finally, I was scheduled for surgery on that Friday. I'd been there for like 4 or 5 days already. They had me started on antibiotics, and then they amputated the fourth toe, and I stayed in for a couple more days, a total of about 11 days. And they finally discharged me, and I went. Julie took me home, and we went to they had me on, I believe, IV antibiotics, and I had to do a regimen of that for a while. And by the end of February, I believe, I was able to go back to work with a prosthetic shoe, and I started working again, but it wasn't the same. I felt like I was slowing down, and things were getting worse. I was trying to treat my toes because they started looking weird to me, and I was putting some ointment that I had got off of Amazon, which probably made it worse. I don't know. I really don't know. I thought it was helping it out. And anyway, I started getting sick at work, started getting delusional, and I went off on my boss, Gary. Didn't mean to do that. And he's a good guy. Everybody, he's a good guy. Really, he put up with a lot from me. I put him through the ringer. I was paranoid. He'd come up to behind me and jokingly and uh, said, told me to shut the hell up, but he was doing it a joking thing, and I took it seriously, and I thought he was threatening me. I went down to human resources and tried to report it. And after I went through that, about a week later, I had gone back there, and I'm like, what did I do? And I tried to get the human resource guy to reverse it, and he go, "Oh, I have to go through with it." And I'm like, I cussed him out. Lance, you're a jackass. Anyway, um, I came out of there, and then went home, and I got into it with my son Noah, who was living with me after his mom and my son Zev and daughter Angel had moved out to a house um, down the street, and I caught him ditching school, and I got very upset with him before, and then we had it out, and his friend who was sticking up for him, I like him now. Michael is a good guy, and he took a camera out, and I went off. I had no idea he was filming me, and I threatened to beat the crap out of him and stuff for interfering with between me and my son, because my son needed to be disciplined, and they went off. And then lo and behold, his father came down threatening me to kick my ass and beat the hell out of me. And I told him to bring it on. And he was like, gonna look like he was gonna go after me. And I told him to get the F off my property before I beat the crap out of him. Because good old me had a baseball bat waiting behind the door for him. Well, anyway, I went back to work. I was stressed out to the hilt. I was starting to slow down because obviously a new infection was starting up. And the last time I remember being there, I was moving really slow, and my buddy Campbell, Big Cam, said, "What's everything all right with you?" And I was like, "Sure it was." Well, anyway, I got in the car, and it took me 5 minutes to leave the parking lot. 5-10 minutes. Went home, and I just wasn't feeling right, and I started getting sick too. I remember started vomiting and stuff because the infection was taking place. And finally, I relented after my brother Bolo and Julie talked me into it and told me I had to go to the emergency room. And I finally went. And by the time I had gone down there, I was back waiting in the emergency room for about 24 hours there, and they finally took me upstairs again. This time I had roommates, and I was scheduled for an amputation of a third of my foot. And they took a third of my foot. And it was awful. The whole thought of it, I thought maybe, I didn't think my life was over, but it drastically changed even more. Well, anyway, that time my ex-wife had moved back in with me, pretty much to keep an eye on me, take care of me. And I was I had to medically retire from Clark County after 24 years, and that was hard. And it was like one of the most surreal moments. I remember going up there and in my offloading shoe and my boot, and getting collecting all that. Cam made me clean out my locker, helped me out, man. It hurt to leave. I miss him. Believe it or not, I miss everybody at detention. Even the people I didn't like, I missed. And I went back home again, and basically, I was not in the same mind that I used to be. I'm I was more humble, but I was very susceptible to being scammed on internet uh, by so-called females. They claimed that they were going to meet up with me, which I didn't even know what the hell I was doing, and I got burned for about $8,000. Julie had come by with about $6,000, helped us out of the situation, but for about, I would say, for about almost a year after that, she never let me forget every day that I fell for Bubba, and that was hard. So anyway, about I'd say about 24 days ago, uh, I started. I was before that. I had been died. I had felt like my hernia was going bad back in August of last year, and I I went to the hospital and they said your mesh is in place on your umbilical hernia, but there's scarring on your liver, which is basically what they call NASH, non-alcoholic cirrhosis of the liver. And I'm like, another thing. Went to see my doctor. He didn't. He sent me to did a referral for a gastrointestinal specialist, who I still haven't seen to this day yet because it was put out so far. And then back, I went through a couple more bouts of nausea, and in I would say in December, I started getting violently ill. Actually, more like the beginning of January, and throwing up every day, bile, and everything was disgusting. And felt I can take a lot of pain, but I can't take the stomach. Funny thing, I used to be a pig, and I'm now I dropped 105 pounds, and I'm not that interested in food anymore. So anyway, I went to the hospital to the ER, and they were more concerned with my foot. They saw my foot, and they saw the diabetic ulcer on my heel, and decided we're going to admit you. My blood test didn't come back right. There was a high um, inflammatory response, so I got hospitalized. Waited in the hallway again for this time for I'd say only about 12 hours, which is short for sunrise. Went up to the third floor. Um, they took me to a room with double occupancy, and I met this guy named Joe, who's a great guy. It's like meeting my big brother, but the same, and we had so much in common. He's from Montebello, I was from Lakewood, and two Southern California boys. We basically talked for like 4 days straight. Watched some football games in there, and he left, and I was still in there, and they finally came by, and the infectious disease doctor said, "I got good news and bad news for you." I go, "What's the good news?" He says, "You have a bone infection in your heel. The bad news is it's a bad place to have it. It's like the worst place you can have an infection like that." So anyway, I was scheduled for a procedure with my new podiatrist slash surgeon named Dr. Peck, and he did the surgery, cut open the abscess, went in there, cleaned it out, and sewed it back up. Put me on heavy IV antibiotics, and that same day, after being in there for 8 days, they discharged me back home again. Well, anyway, I was supposed to stay in bed. I'm not in bed, and um, heal up, and I'm too hyperactive to do that. I try to lay down as much as I can, but I got to get around. So I got basically a crow boot on my right foot and a cam boot on my left foot, and I walk around like a Frankenstein, and and try to get by. Well, anyway, I know we were hurting bad for money because everything had fallen behind while I was in the hospital so many times, and then I tried to take out a $5,000 loan, and I got taken advantage of by people posing as a company called Lending Tree. They are obviously a scam. My red flags to me went up, but I still went through because I was desperate, and they tried to pass a bad check off on me, and my bank caught it because they were saying it was insurance for the 5,000 because your credit is so terrible, because they had gone into my account and figured everything out. Never get a loan online. I learned that's the hard way. Well, anyway, my account got restricted. I'm basically doing everything through Cash App and PayPal right now until I open up another bank account and redirect my PERS. So I'm in a situation where I'm hurting. The family's hurting. I'm not in the greatest shape right now. As you could tell, I'm going even balder. I don't look good. I lost a lot of weight, but I don't look good, and it's just been difficult. So if you guys could help me out, donate anything you can, $20, whatever. I appreciate it so much from the bottom of my heart, and for my kids, my family. Thank you. Bye.